everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another royal news video, or generally just a royal gossip video. So speaking of gossip, is it possible that Meghan might have had more shade thrown at her from a huge American icon, or is this another carefully orchestrated, calculated PR stunt to promote Meghan instead? I will let you be the judge of that, but of course, before we start talking about the ex-royals of Montecito, let's talk about the real royals, and we're going to start off with Prince William, who has just announced his third location for his new housing project with the Royal Foundation's Homewards initiative that he started back in 2023, which is working towards eradicating homelessness in the UK. A property in Lambeth in London will now be converted to 16 flats to provide affordable housing for 18 to 25-year-olds. Some of the flats will be allocated to people that are in employment, but also the others will be allocated to people working towards employment. This is part of a new trial where obtaining somewhere to live can go hand in hand with also gaining employment. The first housing project was for 31 flats in Aberdeen, which we saw Prince William pay a visit to one of the residents earlier in this year with Homewards Ambassador Gail Porter. The second is on the Duchy of Cornwall, and this one is a much larger development of 300 homes being built in Newquay. And the first phase of this housing development, which will be comprising of 8 one-bedroom flats and 2 four-bedroom homes, will be completed in the next spring of 2026. Prince William yet again proving that he does more than talk the talk, he walks the walk. And it's also proof that when organisations come together without the political red tape, that change can in fact happen. And it's amazing that just in the few short years since this project was started, that they have managed to achieve so much with Homewards, working alongside all of the incredible people working on these projects. This isn't just about getting people off the streets, it's about stopping them from ending up on the streets in the first place. And I especially love the emphasis and the importance of getting people into employment at the same time. Many people find that when they are living on the streets, because they have no permanent address, it makes it near impossible to be able to get employment opportunities, training opportunities, and even in some cases, even help with benefits from the government. Many people do want to work. Many people do not want to be there. And I think Prince William is helping to change the stigma that is often associated with people living on the streets. Prince William has made it very obvious to many that even since he's taken over the Duchy of Cornwall, he is going to have a very, very different reign to that of his father, King Charles, who has yet again, the second story in recent weeks, has been dragged for doing something, or rather saying something negative. Of course, this is all being leaked by sources close to the royal family, so like everything, I'm going to take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt. Do I believe that the King has now got a team of people around him that have got loose lips and are running to the media selling stories? I'm really beginning to struggle with that one. In fact, I've always struggled with it. There are 2 people that are part of that family and they have no problems running their mouth for money. But this story is going to cause backlash, and it has caused backlash against the King, and it's all to do with Donald Trump's upcoming state visit and his recent visit to the UK, where he publicly humiliated Keir Starmer. And I try and keep politics out of the channel. I know that some of you are not a fan of your president. I can say here, I'm not a fan of our current Prime Minister either. Donald Trump is like Marmite. You either really, really love him or you really, really hate him. Keir Starmer, I don't know many people that really, really love him. There is a lot of dislike for this man and a lot of the decisions, which I'm sure many of you are aware, a big one being the attack on free speech, where we've got people currently serving time behind bars because of tweets, or not even tweets they've written themselves. Some people dared to repost other people's tweets or Facebook posts, and they are in prison. So seeing Keir Starmer stand there and go, we have free speech in this country. No, correction, we used to. So, on that note, before I have the police knocking at my door, the reason for this story, and I believe it's politically motivated, is because Keir Starmer was humiliated. When Donald Trump sat there and he called him out on immigration, farmers' tax, how horrid the London mayor is, and what a terrible job he's done of London. I mean, I'm sorry, but no lies detected there. It was clearly obvious that Keir was having a brain malfunction. His mouth was so tightly puckered, it reminded me of a cat's bottom hole. But because of that humiliation, isn't it funny how a source has then run to the newspapers and said, the King has said that he has concerns over Donald Trump's state visit, knowing that this would cause a lot of public backlash. I saw thousands and thousands of people angry at the King. Now, the King hasn't said anything publicly. This was a source that went to the newspapers to say that the King feels that Donald Trump is basically a loose cannon and he's worried about the upcoming state visit, and he's now annoyed that Keir Starmer has brought it forward to a date in September. And I'm sorry, I just don't believe it. There's been a coordinated campaign against the monarchy that has ramped up, I would say, in recent months. But what a great way to get the humiliation of what those interviews were, where Donald did in fact call him out on a lot of stuff, to then say that the King doesn't want Trump to come over for a state visit. That's basically what they were implying. It's a simple case, I believe, of people going, oi, look over here, don't look over there. Don't look over there. It's a tactic that we have seen used multiple times, and they are more than willing to use members of the royal family to do so. So, moving away from the real royals, it's that time, folks. Let's talk about the ex-royals of Montecito. Despite the fact that Meghan clearly still hasn't been seen for some time, and nor has Harry, which does make us think that perhaps there is something going on. Perhaps it's just Meghan hoping that people care enough about her to start the Where's Meg campaign. I can't actually see that happening. But there has been an exciting, huge announcement coming out regarding Meghan's as ever rosé wine. So Meghan has been back down the beach posing for photographs, or rather her rosé wine has, and it's all part of her exciting new announcement. Her wine is coming back into stock, but instead of it being the Napa Valley 2023 version, it's now the Napa Valley Rosé Wine 2024 version. Yes, that's the huge and exciting update. There was one thing huge that came with this update, and that was the personal message that the founder of As Ever decided to give as part of the promotion of this exciting news. It marries the same harmony of notes from our first blend and creates an elegant medley of delicate yet memorable flavour. You'll want to clink glasses with friends as the sun sets, toasting to a summer of joy. Barefoot in sandals, dressed up or dressed down, this rosé might become your favourite accessory for al fresco lunches and dinners at dusk. This affirmed all of the love, time and effort our team and our founder poured into curating this blend to invoke the sun-drenched spirit of Napa Valley and the breathtakingly tenor of the California coast. You just know that Meghan wrote every single cringe-worthy, sugary, sweet, excruciating word of that, because only Meghan Markle, who perhaps this is another talent that she has, could make a post about re-releasing your same wine, it's just a different year, sound as completely insufferable as she does. I do not believe that there is anything carefully curated or lovingly invested, nor do I believe that Meghan poured a second of her time into any of it. The only pouring that I'm certain that Meghan does is into a glass before she necks it. But hey, that's just my thoughts on that. Now, speaking of thoughts, I've got to share with you someone else's thoughts on Meghan and her reinvention into being some sort of lifestyle influencer. And it comes from the queen of lifestyle, the absolute American icon that is Martha Stewart, who became the first self-made female billionaire in America because of her incredible number of decades committed to cooking shows, cooking programming, producing so many successful cookbooks, magazines, entertainment guides. I mean, the list is endless when you look into everything that Martha Stewart has done in her career. She was the original lifestyle queen, and in an interview with Yahoo Lifestyle, she was asked to give her opinion on two other lifestyle entrepreneurs, Gwyneth Paltrow and, of course, Meghan. And I would say that her opinion on the two women is very, very different. But before I let you be the judge on that for yourself, there is something that I want to address, and that is some people believe that Martha Stewart has mentioned Meghan because it's all part of another calculated PR boost. They're all in on it working together because, of course, what happened with Gwyneth Paltrow. But I never believed that Gwyneth collaborated with Meghan. I believe that the shade that was going on, or people were saying that Gwyneth was throwing shade at Meghan, was genuine. But of course, it blows up very quickly because you've got Meghan's flying monkeys, this Sussex squad, which many people call or associate with the internet terrorists. And every single post when the apparent beef became apparent, every single post that Gwyneth was doing on Instagram, she was being flooded by these horrible, vile people. So by inviting Meghan round, Meghan managed to make it look like that they had collaborated together. So that was a win for Meghan, a little bit of a PR boost for her. But it was a crumb thrown from Gwyneth because it shut down the haters and it stopped the hate that she was getting. But the video was posted on Gwyneth's Instagram account. It was her house. She got control of the situation, is my opinion. And Meghan didn't actually say a word. She just sat there looking a little bit rude with her feet on the chair, shoving pie into her mouth, and she ended up looking like a chipmunk. It wasn't exactly the most flattering 30 seconds that we've ever seen of Meghan, but I think it was a masterclass in shutting down a lot of the nonsense that was beginning to get a bit out of hand. You'd think that if they were tight, we would have seen more collaborations between them since. So people are now saying because Martha mentions Gwyneth and Meghan in the same sentence again, then obviously they're all working together. I didn't believe it last time, and I certainly do not believe it this time, because you can hear the clear difference when she talks about both women. And it's natural that she is going to be asked because, as I said, she is the original lifestyle queen and influencer herself. So first up, let's listen to her talking about Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth's been very successful, by the way. I think she's created quite an interesting body of businesses. She's admired. She's a fantastic. She won an Oscar, for heaven's sake, as an actress. She's pretty powerful.
And now let's hear Martha talk about Meghan.
Meghan, I don't really know very well, and I hope she knows what she's talking about. Authenticity to me is everything, and to be authentic and knowledgeable about your subject matter is extremely important.
Clearly, that was a very different description of both women. And for anybody saying that they believe that they're collaborating together, this wasn't a win for Meghan. This isn't something positive that she said. She's clearly implied that I hope Meghan knows what she's doing. I hope Meghan understands that you need to be authentic. That is Martha saying, I think everybody knows that Meghan is fake. She is inauthentic. She is completely faking it. Let's not forget, in With Love Meghan, not only could most of us see that Meghan was not that knowledgeable in the kitchen due to the way she handled, I would say, knives, the way she zested lemons, the way she had raw uncovered chicken put in the fridge with other food items. And let's also remember, she used one of Martha's most famous recipes, the one pot pasta that Martha actually made famous herself, and she tried to pass it off as her own in the show. I don't believe that went unnoticed by Martha. It's clear to everybody that Meghan is completely inauthentic, and she certainly doesn't know her way around the kitchen. We know it, she knows it, and Martha certainly knows it. And as Martha's very own slogan goes, Martha knows best. And in this case, I would say indeed she does. So guys, that's it for me on this video. I will be back with you very soon with some more royal news and some ex-royal gossip. So take care for now. See you soon. Bye.